Hello, welcome to this live stream on personality typing. We will start very soon once we see some people pouring in. Let me see here if I can get some people. Going, so I'm doing this with Michael Esguerra of MBE Learning. So you can also, if you'd rather do it, check it out over Instagram. You can go to MBE Learning 1, also on there.
About Enneagram personality types. Hey, and I believe you. Let me add her. I think she's on here now. So let me just add her. How do I? Oops, I waved. Let's get you on here. Oh, here you go. I think you rejoined. Welcome. Let me. How do I?
Hello.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome cover. Hey, there you are.
I'm here.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great.
I made it in time.
Yay! How's YouTube going? Were you able to get that set up? Or?
Yeah, it's on now. I got 2 people on. Let me see if I can share this.
How can I join, or can you invite me, or how do we do that?
I'll send you the link to the.
Sounds good. Welcome. We're just getting set up. We'll get started in about a minute or two. We're just getting YouTube set up here, but it's gonna be an awesome conversation. Man, Jan. Every time I speak with Jan, actually, one of the favorite things that I like to do when I'm hanging out with Jan and we're hanging out with a group of people is asking her to guess people's personality types just based on like 3 or 4 questions. Just because like she's so knowledgeable in the personality types that she just has that ability to do that. And after the conversation, excuse me, after our open candid conversation, that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to give you guys an opportunity to for Jan to guess your personality types. So, hey, how's it going? Welcome.
There?
Thanks for.
Oh, I know who that is.
Cool. The link. Did you email it to me, or
I'll send it to you over Messenger. I can find your name.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, actually, a second. And please forgive me because this is our first time doing this type of setup. We're trying something new, and yeah, not hopefully, we definitely will be doing a lot more of these. Awesome, I see it. We'll be doing a lot more of these in the near future. I know I've got something booked 2 weeks from now, another live interview. So stay tuned for details on that. Apologies, I'll be right back.
Okay. So figure this out.
You go through IG. Because I don't know if I could get to it now.
To IG.
You do it through IG or?
Oh yeah. I'll figure it out. To do it through my phone. So Facebook Messenger.
As well. But while she's doing that, speaking of YouTube, speaking of Instagram, if you haven't already, awesome. Do you mind sending that on Facebook Messenger as well, just so that I could?
Yeah, I sent it to you on Messenger.
What's that?
Yeah, I sent it.
Oh, okay. I should refresh then. Or I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, speaking of YouTube, speaking of Instagram, if you haven't already, please give us a follow. Follow us on Instagram. So I'm MB Learning 1, and Jan, you're
Jan
Woke
Wellness. Jan Wellness Winnipeg.
Oh,
WPG.
Jan Wellness Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jan Wellness WPG. Okay, I think you connected here with Woke Wellness.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will be back. I'll get on my other one. This is weird. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Why did it do that? Okay. I will be back. I'll get on my other one.
Thanks for joining us. It's going to be an awesome conversation. Learning more about personality types, Myers Briggs, MBTI. There's tests that you could do, like 16personalities.com. If you haven't already done a test, you could do one there and do tests on your own. But again, tonight will be an awesome opportunity because Jan will take a moment to guess what your personality type just based on a couple of questions. But yeah, if you haven't joined the Facebook group already, it's you can search MB Learning, so similar to my IG name, minus the one. And then also with the events as well, because this is the last official meetup event. I canceled my meetup subscription, so all of the events that we do in the future will be posted on our Facebook page, and I'll post them in the Facebook group as well. So if you want access to more events in the future, you have to join the group and get notifications. I apologize, Jan. I did not get the message on Messenger here, so I'm not sure what's going
I think I can invite you to this stream. Hello to my viewers. If you're confused why I'm just
awesome. Sounds
sitting
good,
here.
Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah, do you know what type of personality test you did? And if you're comfortable sharing, what was your result? Do you know if it was either Myers Briggs, MBTI, or Enneagram, or another one? There's a bunch out there. So just curious to know. I think there's insights. What else is there? There's so many. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, it is very, very insightful. In terms of self-awareness, it is a great thing early in the journey. Like, it's a great thing to do a personality assessment anytime in your personal development journey, but especially early in the journey, because it just gives you so much insight on yourself, what your strengths are, what your areas of opportunity are, and where you can learn and grow. And so it's super helpful. That's why I'm so excited about the conversation today.
So
how's it looking, Jack?
I'm trying to figure out how to invite you to the YouTube stream.
Okay.
As well.
Cool.
So.
Oh, I see you. Maybe if I join, and then maybe I can. I see you. Maybe if I join, and then maybe I can. Can you see me?
Not on YouTube. I see 4 people in there.
You don't see me?
Oh, I see you now. Okay. Let's figure this. Okay. So how do I click this now? Hi. Please join.
Maybe the 3 dots there.
Yes.
Welcome. We're just getting set up on YouTube, and then we'll get started. But I guess a quick, I guess you could say, reset of the room. So welcome. This is Personality Types with the one and the only Jan. She's a health and wellness coach. Super knowledgeable about law of attraction. She's helped me so much with my mindset, and then also like personality types. Like, she is my go-to person when it comes to Myers Briggs, personality types, Enneagram, there's going to be a lot of knowledge gems being thrown around tonight. So,
Hello. So just a question for everyone who's in so far. Anyone delve into Myers Briggs at all, or just kind of trying to see where our audience is kind of at in terms of, because I don't want to go too complicated and like kind of confuse people too much, or yeah. So
SBI, red, blue. Okay, I think I've done. No, it wasn't SBI. It was, or is that SGI? Anyway, I did something with colors, but I think it was insights. Interesting. Okay, cool. Jen, do you know if did I join on YouTube or?
Yeah, you're on YouTube, but I can't find the option where to make you a guest.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how to join a YouTube live stream as guest. Open the guest link shared by the host. Log into YouTube, connect your camera, and then you should see a thing about your name that says waiting to go live. And
for me or for you?
For you.
Like a notification?
Yeah, like you should see a button that says waiting to go live. Once you're logged into YouTube.
I do not. I did just join as a participant, though I didn't click on any links or anything like that.
Okay. I see Polar Pablo. That is Paul. Hi, Paul.
Oh, it's Paul. Hey, Paul. Welcome.
I think a different Paul.
Oh, a different Paul. Well, hello, Paul. Still, welcome. Happy you joined. If for whatever reason we don't get YouTube going, I don't know, does it capture the audio from Instagram?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
It should be loud enough.
Yeah, it's close. The phone is close enough to the computer?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Because I could see, I see myself on the participants list, but it's not really giving me an option to join or anything like that. Do you see where to go for participants?
No, I don't.
There's 3 dots on the top right-hand corner next to the chat.
So live chat.
Like, you know,
yeah. Participants.
Yeah. And
okay.
Then, yeah, 3 dots, participants.
Okay.
And then when you click on my name or anything like that, does it give you any options?
No, I click on it and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any link or anything.
Cool. Well, we will go forward then with Instagram, and then I guess just the audio on YouTube. That's cool.
Oh, maybe edit. No. Enable. Okay, not that. Hello, if anyone in YouTube world knows how to invite guests onto live streams, please let me know.
Sounds good. Well, anyone on YouTube or anyone on Instagram, if you know how to go like do a live on YouTube, please let us know. Send us a link or send us something in the chat. But in the meantime, we'll go forward. We'll do awesome. Thanks, Kate. Green personality type and ENFJ. Oh, awesome. Cool. Hey, fellow ENFJ. Hey, there we go. No wonder why we got along so well. Awesome. We'll go forward. So welcome. Welcome. This is Personality Types. My name is Michael. Special guest is Jan. We'll do quick introductions in a little bit. But if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram. I'm MB Learning 1. Jan is Jan Wellness Winnipeg, or Jan Wellness WPG. And we're on YouTube as well, so you can search up MBE Learning for myself, and then for Jan, she's Jan Michelle, Michelle on YouTube. So you can find us there. And I guess I'll quickly introduce myself, and then I'll hand it over to you, Jan, to introduce yourself, and then we'll go over just kind of like the structure, rough structure of how the conversation will go today, and then we'll get started. So, hi everyone, my name is Michael Esguerra. I'm a personal development coach, learning expert, and founder of MBE Learning. I won't go into too much detail about MBE Learning, but if you go to our YouTube page or the website, mbelearning.com, or join our Facebook group, MBE Learning, and you'll be able to see our intro video, and it'll give you a gist of what it's all about. But it's all about unlocking the power of your mind, your body, your emotions, and your spirit. And when you're able to unlock the power of yourself, it's limitless and endless, the amount of the things that you can do, and it's just amazing. So that's the whole premise of MBE Learning is learning how to unlock the power that is within yourself. So in terms of other things that we do, we try and do like affordable and free personal development resources. So free in terms of on YouTube, I do weekly YouTube videos, and then daily personal development tips in the Facebook group. I also host events similar to this. So if you want to stay up to date with the events, I'm planning bi-weekly online events. That will be notifications either on our Facebook page or in our Facebook group. So check us out there, MBE Learning 1 on Facebook, and the MBE Learning Facebook group. So Jan is our special guest of honor here. She is a health and wellness coach, a law of attraction guru in my mind anyway. Helps me so much with my mindset, help me with my health and fitness goals, and she's a self-proclaimed personality type junkie, which I like to say personality type expert because you know so much about it. But anyway, I'll hand it over to you for you to continue your introduction there.
Yes, definitely. And I just want to say I have 5 people on my YouTube channel right now. Hello, if you're all confused why I wasn't saying anything. I don't know how to add a guest onto here if you've just joined in. So here is the host, Michael Esguerra of MBE Learning. So check out MBE Learning on Facebook and MBE Learning on Instagram. And if you'd rather watch this stream on there, check it out on MBE Learning 1 on Instagram, because it's kind of difficult to have our little side-by-side with with my phone here, trying to do both at once, just because we couldn't get both of us in the YouTube video. So that's my introduction on my channel. So hello, everyone. Also, say hi in the chat. I don't know who's actually in here, so it'd be cool to see who actually is, whoever you guys are out there.
If they signed in, then they'll be able to type. But sometimes, I don't know, people don't really sign in, which is totally cool. And if they're sticking around, that's a good thing. Then they're watching. Hopefully they can hear the audio or hear me through the audio from your phone. Anyway.
Hopefully. So I will like stop here and there and toggle both my phone and YouTube, just to keep both audiences intact there. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so getting into personality types, it's very simple in the beginning, and then once you like get deeper into it, it gets pretty complicated, but you understand it and you're like, wow, this is just like, and then you just kind of get addicted to it. You're like, now I know how to understand other people and myself, and I just love it. I've been learning about it maybe for about the last 5 years. And at first I was just kind of curious about like, why are people talking in these letters? And I just wanted to learn the language and kind of fit in. And it ended up being something that I am really passionate about now. So that's kind of the story there. Slightly. I can go into that a little more.
And I guess for those that aren't familiar with the personality types, Myers Briggs or MBTI, that's it could be one of 16 different combinations of letters, I guess you could say, where it's represented by 4 letters, and each letter could either be one of 2 letters. And I won't go into details about it too much, but basically the first letter could be represented by an I or an E, so introvert or extrovert. The second letter could be either an N or an S, so intuitive or sensory. And then the third letter could either be an F or a T, so feelings or
thinking. Yes, thinker. Yes.
Thank you. And then the fourth letter could be either a P or a J, so perceptive or judge. Yeah, judgmental, judging. Anyway, I won't go into details about what each of those letters represent. We'll post something in the Facebook group. If you've got anything, Jan, that'd be great. I'll share the 16personalities.com in there as well. So anyway, that's Myers-Briggs. So whenever you see those 4 letters, like I think someone said earlier, I think Kate said earlier, she's an ENFJ. I'm an ENFJ as well. We'll talk a little about that in a bit. Hello, welcome, Nazmime.
Hello.
Last talk every Friday. I'll be there this Friday, actually, Friday night.
So yeah, to reiterate just a little bit for this side here. So personality types, there are 16 personality types in the system. So if you can figure out which one you are, you can unlock the key to your potential, basically, or everything about yourself and other people too. So I will eventually go over like the different letters and things like that, just to see, give people an idea and maybe see if they resonate with any of it and figure out what they are as well. So yeah.
Cool. And then what would be your, let's say, 1-minute explanation of what Enneagram is? Because Enneagram is a little different than MBTI.
Enneagram. So Enneagram is more of a spiritual. It has more of a spiritual type of thing where it came from. It's more like, I think, kind of rooted in like, I guess, mysticism and that. Like, it's very like esoteric and stuff, I guess. So there are, it's like kind of like in like an Enneagram, like 9, a circle. So, and there's 9 numbers around the circle. So
and I assume each number represents like a personality type.
Yeah, each number represents a personality type, and it really goes very deep into a person's like ego motivations, your childhood wounds, like how pretty much your life has shaped you till now, and then it also gives you kind of an idea where you need to break out of. So with Myers-Briggs, the difference with personality typing in that sense with cognitive functions is the cognitive functions are just like your mental processes. So how you act and how you perceive in the world is more Myers-Briggs. Enneagram is a bit different in the sense that it's more of like, it gives you a big picture of your essence, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? I apologize. My mind went somewhere. I just realized I can also go live on YouTube, so I should probably do the subscribers that went onto YouTube. I should do them a service and go live on there as well, even if it's just kind of similar to what you're doing with
yeah, for sure.
But I've got questions. If you're cool with that, I'm going to dig into some questions. And then if you've got some questions as well, feel free to type them in there, and then type them. I think there's a Q&A part. Feel free to type them in the Q&A, and we'll make sure to get them either during the conversation or midway through the conversation before we get into the guessing the personality types. But feel free to write them in the chat as well, and we'll try and slip them in during the conversation. So can you tell us a little bit more about like your your past, like I know you've been studying Enneagram for like the past 5 years, but I feel like you've been learning about personality types probably long before then.
Like in terms of just like studying. Oh yes. No, yeah. I guess growing up, I was very much an observer. So I had something called selective mutism when I was a kid. So basically, I didn't talk in school at all, and the way I guess I learned and I like picked up on things was just really, and being also very curious and interested in just everything. Just being very observant with other people and seeing how they are and wanting to understand and you know and so from there, yeah, I studied psychology in university and all of the social sciences and just wanted to. I've always had this kind of inner, I guess, not curiosity, but just like always wanting to learn more about myself and other people and how the world works and all that fun stuff. So eventually, well, when I came across MBTI, I really just like immersed myself into the whole world of it just because so at the time I was living in Toronto when I didn't know as much about it and some groups were starting up there, so I joined like the first ones that started there, and like just learning from other people and seeing it like live in front of you, how people are, how people interact, and them also explaining it and talking about it at the same time. It's just like, it's just a whole nother level of learning it, right? So it was very interesting. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of awesome people. And so I brought that back with me here to Winnipeg, and I created a Myers Briggs personality type group here as well. And that's how I met Michael. So
That's right. That's the history of us. That's how we met. Amazing. Because I am an ENFJ, so intuitive, and that was the group that you created, and I guess that's the one part of a personality type that we have in common. So, what is your personality type, Jan? And like, what I guess what would you say are like 3 characteristics that is very common to that you demonstrate that is common to your personality type?
My personality type is, if anybody, I don't know if anyone can pick up on it, but I am a INTP. So if you break that down into the 4 letters, it's introverted, intuitive, thinker, and perceiver. So 3 common characteristics. INTPs are very, I guess you can say, like stereotypically very like heady and intellectual. They're the, I guess, quote unquote nerds of the MBTI, which I can attest to. And we're also very, at the same time, very easygoing, laid back, quirky, kind of awkward sometimes, but we play that off well. So yeah, I think those are some good characteristics of an INTP. INTPs actually get sometimes very like negative content, negative stereotypes. But yeah, well, I think INTPs are like probably the majority of the internet and internet trolls.
Oh,
probably.
Are you the one that's trolling? Are you the one that's been trolling me lately? No, I'm joking.
How'd you know? Yeah.
What's that?
I said, how'd you know?
Spoiler alert, I am an ENFJ, but you already knew that. Which is kind of weird because like I did a test a couple of years ago and I was an INTJ, but I did some recently, and now I'm more of like an ONFJ because I flip back and forth between introvert and extrovert. Like I'm a 60-40 split depending on the day. But anyway, most of the time I test as an ENFJ. So what would you say, just kind of like based on your knowledge and your opinion, like, because you know we've hung out a couple of times, like what are three characteristics that I demonstrate that really like live into what an ENFJ is?
Okay, so Michael, I'm gonna again go to my
Sure.
screen here. So Michael is an ENFJ. So ENFJ, again, with the 4 letters, the E is extroverted, intuitive is the N, feeler, and judging function. So those are like the functions of, well, I'll go into the 4 letters because they go a little bit deeper, but so the common characteristics of an ENFJ are very like group oriented, like wants harmony, just wants everyone to get along, very aware of other people and their needs and their emotions and things like that. And I think typically like stereotype of like different careers for ENFJ because of that reason are like, yeah, coaches, counselors, therapists, things like that. And definitely like with the feeling part of it is like seeing the patterns in other people as well, like similar to what I described about myself, about like wanting to understand people and stuff. I think for an INTP like myself, it's more in an analytical way, like a theoretical analytical way, like trying to understand the psychology of how people are and stuff. But I think from an ENFJ perspective, it's also more like, how do I see the patterns in this person and like understand this person's life so I can help them see the big picture, that kind of thing.
Interesting. See, like every time I speak to you, like I learned something new about about me and my personality type. Like that last little bit there, like that's new information to me. So wow, that's awesome. Cool. So what would you say then is like oh shoot, I can't remember. I was gonna go with that one, but I guess delve in a little bit more about what you were saying there.
Yeah. So it's interesting because you can put people into boxes and stereotype people into certain careers or certain I guess behaviors and that. But so like you being ENFJ and me being INTP, we both want to understand other people and all that, like very similar approach. And we're both coaches, but like when it comes to the processes of how we do it, how we go about it, they're slightly different, right? So again, with myself as a coach, it's like more of what I'm naturally inclined to is like the analyzing and like the trying to figure out someone's issues or problems, or like trying to get them towards a goal by trying to find a solution that I can give them, like a technique or like some theoretical concept that I found, or fit more in a headspace. And then for yourself, like I know from coaching with you, it's more from a listening perspective, trying to get the person to understand themselves and asking questions. And so there, even though people are maybe interested in the same things or they seem very similar, everyone has like, each type might have like a very different approach to it in terms of their cognitive processes, right?
Yeah. And that's so bang on, and it's so funny that you mentioned that, because it is true. Like same job functions, but the way that we approach it is different because of our personality types, and like the way that you described of how I'm more of a listener and then ask those questions. Like that is totally me. Like that's totally my approach, and it's funny because, well, I guess you've experienced it firsthand, but then it also ties in with my personality type results. I want to ask you a question about Enneagram, but I just want to check this question here. So we have a question here. So is it important to do a personality test?
To do a personality test, I think a personality test can give you a rough idea of what your personality type might be. It's not that black and white, just because there are so many different variations of tests. What I always recommend is actually learning about the cognitive functions, which I will bring in now just because so
Sure.
with the I talk about cognitive functions and people are like, okay, what is that? So basically, when it comes down to the 4 letters, if you think about the 4 letters as an actual salad with ingredients, 4 letters actually break down into 8 different brain processes that compose the 4 letters. So if you can figure out your cognitive function stacking, so the kind of ingredients to your personality type, then you can get a more accurate representation of what your personality type actually is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like add on to that, just for someone who's like completely brand new to personality types, but with Myers Briggs Type Indicator. So there's the 4 letters that we were talking about that represents your personality, but there's also a deeper level to it. And this was something brand new that I learned after meeting Jan. But she talks about the, now I can't even remember what it's called. Is it the cognitive
functions?
Cognitive function.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, the cognitive function. So I guess like what you said earlier, that there's 2 letters that kind of like pair together, and it can be a combination of one of 8 of those conversations. I guess there are combinations. I guess there's 8 options, right? So an example might be, you're pairing the I and the F together. So there could be like introverted feeling. That could be like a cognitive function.
Yeah, you can explain it like, okay, so with each of the letters, there's, for example, the T and the F. So thinker or feeler, right? So there's actually extroverted thinkers, which think more in an extroverted way. And then there's introverted thinkers who think more in an introverted way. And then there's extroverted feelers whose feelings are more in the extroverted external world. And then there are introverted feelers as well. So that's basically how the functions are broken down. I could write them out for you if you want to nerd out about it. Like I was planning to get all ready for that, but I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. I think it'll be great. Maybe we'll share it in the Facebook group after the conversation tonight. How's that sound?
For sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
So who was the one that asked the question?
It was my friend Naima.
Okay. So oh yes, I see it now. What was I gonna say?
Is it important to do a personality test?
Anyways, I guess that was the gist of the answer there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. So question then about Enneagram. So what is your Enneagram type, and what are 3 characteristics that really live into that you demonstrate that live into that character personality type?
All right. So on the Enneagram, there are 9 different types, right? So for me, without going over all of the types, I am a type 9. So type 9 is the peacekeeper. Peacekeeper is we're seen as very chill, very relaxed, easygoing. We go with the flow and nothing bothers us too much. But then, going deeper into Enneagram, it's like, actually, is that true? Right? So that can manifest sometimes in a negative way as, sort of being a doormat, or like not saying what you actually think, or just going along with people and not having a say in things, and not knowing who you are. So those are some of the traits of a 9 in a negative sense, I guess. But basically, chill, easygoing people.
Okay, I can see that. I can second that about you. And then what would you say is my personality type, and what are, like, let's say 3 characteristics that I demonstrate that really live into that personality type?
For Enneagram?
Yeah, for Enneagram.
Enneagram. Actually, I'm not too sure, but like we've pinpointed, maybe most probable is type 2.
Okay.
So type 2, the label is the helper. Also the hostess or host. So it ties in again with Myers Briggs. Usually they go together, like they kind of correlate. So the helper is always, wanting to be accommodating to other people, wanting to help others. I think they are slightly more extroverted, where, more cheerful, beat, I guess, in that sense, unless you're an introvert. Yeah, that's the type 2. And I know 2s and 9s can sometimes be kind of mistyped or mistaken for each other too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a little, or I guess you could say I'm either surprised or relieved to hear that, because like when I read, from what I understand, type 9 almost kind of touches on all the other numbers as well, like shows similar characteristics as the other numbers.
I think type 9s are a little more passive than the 2s in terms of like the 2s are known as the helpers, but the 9s will also help, but only if others are expecting them to, or they have to, or like they have that yes, like they're not as like forward as a 2 that will just do it without asking, kind of thing. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, because like when I read all the descriptions, I'm like, I resonate with all of the descriptions. And that's one thing to do, I guess, for anyone out there, is like, if you have a list of the descriptions of, this is for Enneagram anyway, if you have a list of those descriptions, you can basically read the descriptions. Like, you don't even need to do the assessment. Like, you read the descriptions, and whichever one like resonates with you the most, like you can roll with that as your personality type. Just out of curiosity for those that are listening, and then Jan, maybe you can ask YouTube as well, but what is your or have you done a personality type assessment, and what is your results, whether it be MBTI, Enneagram, or anything else? And then if you haven't done a personality type assessment, I don't know, maybe drop something that you know about yourself. And then, Jan, if you're comfortable, maybe you could take that piece of information and maybe take a guess, or maybe ask an additional question to find out what that person's personality type is.
Sure, yeah. We can get someone to go live if they want to.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can do 3 up to 4 people live. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe that's what we'll do. Does anyone want to hop on and live? Maybe Jan can ask you some questions, or if you don't feel like hopping on video, you can type them in the chat. But let's take a moment here, and we'll, this is your opportunity to find out what your personality type is, or get confirmation about what your personality type is. Mm-hmm. So
I could quickly give people maybe like a rough idea of what they could be. So I could just go through the 9 with the Enneagram. I can go through the 9 types very quickly if that's
cool.
Something.
Well, how about this? While people are getting ready, so I'll just kind of like review what's going on here, and then I'll pass it over to you, Jan, to go into those types there. But let us know if you've done a personality type. What was the result of the personality type? So whether it be Myers Briggs or Enneagram, and if you haven't done an assessment, let us know, one personality trait about yourself put it in the chat. And if you feel comfortable, we'll pull you onto the live. If you feel comfortable going on the video, let us know. Or just let us know that you want to hang out in the chat and you just want to type out, hey, I don't know, I like to, I don't know, be with my own thoughts. Might be a personality as opposed to going out and being social. Think of like a personality trait, drop it in the chat, and then Jan may or may not ask more questions. Either we'll pull you up or we'll ask you more questions and you can respond in the chat. So, anyway, oh, okay. Awesome. So you found Jan on YouTube and you're watching on your phone here. Excellent.
Can you hear? Hello, YouTube land. Can you hear Michael through my phone? Oh, watching.
Yeah, let me know. Let us know if you can hear through the phone. If you can hear on YouTube, because that was one thing we weren't sure about. And I apologize for anyone on YouTube. I was not able to get my YouTube up and running, so I'm just here on Instagram. But Jan is on YouTube. So, but anyway, as people are kind of like getting ready, and let us know what your something about your personality type, maybe a characteristic that you have. And Jan will go through the 9 personality types for Enneagram.
Okay, so for Enneagram, the 9 personality types. So the first one is the type 1. So the type 1 is I think the moralist is the stereotype for it, or the label. So basically, that is the person in your life that maybe seems like a perfectionist. Again, behaviors and characteristics, like they could all kind of intertwine, but like if you kind of figure out, I'll just go through and do a simple explanation. So type 1 is the image of like wanting to be seen as good, a good person, moral, doing things right, doing things correctly, following what's needed for society, or maybe breaking the rules, but still, it's all about that kind of thing. So a lot of commonly, a lot of people who might be type 1s are like activists or people that are, really out there for a cause. A lot of religious figures are type 1s as well. So an example, there was, I think, someone in the meetup actually that really was shocked and surprised that they're actually a type 1, and they remembered like in their childhood how much they just wanted to show that they were the good kid. They were the ones that were trying to appease their parents and stuff, and wanting that pat on the back that in that way. Each type kind of has their own wanting pat on the back kind of ego thing. So I'll go through that too. So that's the type 1. The type 2 is, again, like Michael is the helper. So the helper is always kind of out there. They're the friend that, surprises you with a gift, even though you don't know it. Like the stereotype is like the neighbor that just comes to your door with I baked cupcakes for you, like randomly. So that's like the type 2. Like they're just very thoughtful, and they're very like giving, and very like just thinking of other people all the time. But then again, where it can get too much is like, again, with the pat on the back, for just like the 1, it's always wanting to be seen as the helper and wanting that gratification, or that like, oh yes, I am doing all this stuff for other people and it's great, so that's the
I'm chuckling and I'm laughing because I was gonna joke and like put out a disclaimer. I was like, please don't expect any gifts from me the next time I see you. But then I started laughing because then I started thinking like, and I remember a couple of years ago going to my buddy's place, I just laughing because, and then I realized like, man, like almost every weekend when I would go hang out with them, it's like I would come like bearing gifts. I would always have something in hand.
There
Like,
you
hey
go.
man, I saw this and I got this for you. And I'm like, oh man, I totally do that. I didn't realize that I did, but it's like, yeah, I do. So,
Okay.
but please
Yeah.
don't expect any gifts from me.
Yeah. So my quick like summary of all these are like just fun again, like fun stereotypes that you might recognize in yourself. But it is meant to go like a lot deeper than what I'm saying. We just can't like get all into it in this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are we at? So type 3 is known as the achiever. So the achiever is like always very goal driven, always kind of knows what they want in life and just knows how to get it, but like in the sense that their pat on the back is there if like for like a student or like when you're younger, it's like you're doing a good job, you're achieving these things, you get the gold stars and the A pluses, and so that's when you know that, yeah, hey, I'm a type 3. Like just kind of having that validation that way and always wanting to achieve more. Um, in that sense, just they're just very driven people, I guess, and who know who they are in that sense. So a lot of 3s will be very career oriented or just goal driven, I guess, in a sense.
Cool. I think Kate put in the chat that she's a 2 wing 3. So Kate, if you're still there, Kate, like, does what Jan said does it resonate with you at all? What she said about 2 and 3, and just out of curiosity, because like now that I just kind of brought up 2 wing 3, like sometimes I guess there will be you may experience 2 or 3 personality types, or a person might show characteristics of 2 or 3, 1, 2, or 3 personality types. I guess how would you explain what a wing would be?
I guess simply put, a wing. So if you are a certain number, so say, yeah, you're a 2, you sometimes will show aspects of a type 1 or a type 3. And more people lean either way, but you have access to both. So it's kind of like a mesh of the 2 numbers in a sense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The first number would probably be your main, and then the wing would be like a secondary personality.
So it's like so like for type 2, it'd be a 2 with the 3 flavor. So someone that's a helper, but also does it in the way of, I guess you can access the 3. And I guess like yourself, I would think maybe you're also a 2 wing 3. So with the business side of it, with MBE learning and knowing your goals and achieving that, and then like I guess combining the 2 with coaching is, I guess, like a 2 wing 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell us more about 4s.
4s, I guess, I don't know. I think they are called the individualist. That's their label. So 4s are very intuitive. They're very they're very in tune with their feelings and who they are. And because they're called the individualist, it's said that they want to be seen as unique, and just put that out there in the world, I guess. So I guess like weird, like fun stereotype about type 4s is that they can be kind of gloomy because they want that, I guess, feeling different and obscure type thing. Like, oh, like, I don't know. There's been like in some Enneagram groups like controversy with 4s and what's a 4. Apparently it's a very rare type and everybody wants to be a 4, and I don't know why that is, but so like some examples of type 4 that I've seen like through like, I guess, characters and stuff is like Edward Scissorhands apparently is a 4. A lot of people in, I guess, like actors and stuff who are very like, like they have that, dramatic, tragic kind of vibe to them, but then actually you realize they're actually pretty normal, but they like that, I guess. So that's apparently a type 4. So
it's funny because I guess characters in movies, like, yeah, I guess of course they would have like personality types. So,
yeah.
When you say Edward Scissorhands, like I know exactly, who you're talking about when you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to give people an opportunity to, for you to guess the personality type if you're comfortable, put a characteristic trait in the chat here, and Jan can guess what your personality type is.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, please continue.
Yeah. If you recognize yourself in any of these things that we're talking about, yeah, let us know as well. So
number 5. I think,
yeah, 5. Oh yeah, I was gonna say something about the 4 as well. Yeah, so like with the other numbers I mentioned, like the whole pat on the back ego thing is like, if their drive is to be seen as unique and individual. So they're like, oh, like you're very different, you're very special, you're very eccentric, then they feel validated. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, and then the type 5 is the label is the investigator. So typically it's the people who are they tend to be more analytical and intellectual, more heady, and I guess the characteristic for 5s is they do put a lot of boundaries on themselves. So, and they like to gather a lot of resources, knowledge, whatever it is, so that they can be independent and, I guess, just figure out life on their own, like being autonomous. So I guess the stereotype or like characters of a type 5 is like professors or type 5s. Daria, if anyone who knows who Daria is, apparently she's a type 5. Yeah. Trying to think who else. I thought I was a 5 because I'm an INTP, but someone told me I was a 9, and I didn't believe it. But yeah. So
turns out you are.
Turns out I'm a 9 and not a 5. Yeah, and then the type 6 is the loyalist. So loyalist, their characteristic stereotype is that they are just very friendly people. They want security. They want to know that everything's good and okay. And the negative connotation is that, they tend to have like that anxiety running in the back of their mind because they always want to be prepared, or they always want to be ready for whatever life brings them. Yeah, so type 6s, it's good to, have them in maybe emergency situations because they'll always be ready. They'll always know what to do. Or they always have their plans, contingency plans, or whatever it is. Yeah. So.
I feel that. I know I'm a 2, but like that particular thing, like I feel that.
That as well, the planning.
Yeah, like having contingency plans and stuff like that.
I think the contingency plans for 6s sometimes is that they're always prepared for something to go wrong so that it never does, and like, yeah.
Okay, I'm like 50-50 there because I am very like go with the flowy. Like I also have like a very strong sense of faith where it's just like, okay, well, I know things will probably work out. I don't necessarily need a contingency plan, but I guess because I'm also very forward thinking, that I'm also thinking like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do and just in case, I will have like these two other things that I can potentially do. And I don't know if that's necessarily for everything, but I find that I do that more often than not. Like it's like playing chess, for example. Like when you play chess, you think 3 moves ahead, and I think that's probably what I guess that's the example that I'm trying to give. Not necessarily that it's a contingency plan, but I'll think 3 moves ahead.
Yeah. I think that's more of a ENFJ thing, probably.
Okay.
Or NI. Yeah. Yeah, for the 6s, I know like there's also something called a counter type. So for 6s who are counter type 6s, they may actually cover the anxiety. Like you might not see them as that kind of person, but they got the plans down. They push forward in trying to, I guess, beat something. So, there might be a counter type 6 that, they always got their gun ready, or like, I guess you see a lot of cops who might be type 6s or people like that who's just ready and loaded. So it's going, yeah. So type 7 stereotype is the optimist.
Oh, before you dive into 7, just a question came up, and totally, Kate, like that it could be the 3 ring coming out. But is it possible to be like a combination, like an equal, maybe whether it be equal combination of like a 4, 5, and 6?
Yes, definitely. So when I said that the Enneagram goes really deep, there is actually even tri-types. So tri-type is a combination of 3 numbers. So with this circle, there's actually every person has a head number, a heart number, and a gut number. So if you look that up, you can eventually maybe figure out your 3 combinations. So yeah, there's something called tri-type, and that even goes even more accurate into personality. It's very interesting because I wanted to figure out my tri-type once upon a time, because I wanted to like look up and see if I can figure out my tri-type and then I YouTube that number, I can see people like literally exactly like me. And I was like, and so you can even find groups where they're based on like the 3 numbers. And like when you get that accurate and you're like, wow, these people like literally think like me and just like every aspect and just share similar experiences. It's pretty crazy when you can get really accurate and actually meet people who are exactly the same. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So where are we at? 7s.
We should land the plane soon, but
okay.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, so type 7 is the optimist. So type 7s are just known to be very like fun-loving, free-spirited. They just like want to enjoy the finest things in life. They just want to do everything in life and don't really want to dwell on the negatives at all. Even though sometimes there is some negatives there and some pain there, like we all experience, but 7s are just like, whatever, party, that kind of thing. So that's like the, stereotype of the 7. They're just really fun people.
See, I feel that too.
Do everything.
At times, especially on the weekends.
on the weekends. Yeah. And then type 8 is the protector. So they're, I guess, seen as like dominant. They can be very outspoken, maybe sometimes aggressive, but they just really know themselves very well and really know their boundaries and know how to tell it how it is and just lay it down. So that's a type 8. They're no nonsense, and they're known as out of all the numbers, like very strong people. But the paradox about this 8s is that they sometimes hide their own vulnerabilities with their strength. So yeah. And then, oh yes, I almost forgot the 9. I was like, oh, you in there? So the 9 is, again, like I mentioned earlier, is the very easygoing, chill, relaxed people who just kind of, we go with the flow of, if other people want things a certain way, we don't mind for the most part. We're just like, yeah, that's great. Like, let's just, nothing, supposedly nothing really phases us, but yeah, that's the 9. And we want to keep the peace. We're very, just want everyone to be comfortable and just know that we are also easygoing and want other people to be easygoing. Yeah, we just want like a really nice, relaxed world, I guess.
Sounds super chill.
Yeah, take a nap after this.
Is it true that nines get forgotten about at times as well?
Yeah, at times, because of the fact that we can be so easygoing, maybe our boundaries get blurred. So it's like the idea of, someone asks for a cookie, or they're like, okay, 1 cookie is cool, and like, can I have 2? Yeah, sure, no problem, no problem. And then eventually you realize that the person's taken like 5 and 6 and 10, 20, and then you're like, wait a minute. And then you don't know what to say anymore. And then like later on you kind of realize it, and then maybe you blow up at them, or maybe you just don't know what's going on. So yeah, that's kind of like the 9, where sometimes our boundaries are blurred because we can be so easygoing.
Yeah. Okay. So it kind of goes both ways. It's almost like people sometimes might forget about the 9, but also the 9
forgets about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And characters that are 9s, Mr. Rogers, if people still remember Mr. Rogers, he's a 9. The Hulk is a 9, surprisingly.
Like Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
Like Bruce Banner, or Hulk himself?
Bruce Banner is like 9. Like his traits when he's just Bruce Banner, he's very just like apologetic. He's just like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm a 9, And then, but then when everything kind of blows up and he realizes, oh, he should actually be angry about something, I guess, then he blows up. So that's one trait of a 9, is like we 9s tend to suppress things, and then maybe they realize and they're like, wait a minute, and then turn into the Hulk, maybe.
Oh, so it's almost like Bruce Banner is a 9, and then like his shadow self is Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. I was actually watching like clips of Bruce Banner, and it just like trying to analyze the 9, and there was this like one meme video on like Bruce Banner is a big baby, and like it just like has all these clips of him like apologizing and being like very meek and like, yeah.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah. So
we should probably land this plane.
Oh,
okay. We should land this plane. But before we close, do you have any closing thoughts or comments about Myers Briggs or Enneagram or anything related to personality types?
Yeah, I was gonna see if anyone resonated with any of the numbers or had any insights.
That's fair. Yeah, let us know in the chat. Alternatively, let us know in the Facebook group as well. Jen, is it cool if could you post maybe some information? I know I saw you had a sheet there earlier. If you got something that maybe a diagram